Welcome to the Tea Time Podcast, where it's all about taking a few healthy minutes each day just for you, with your host, Sharissa Bradley.
Hello, and welcome back to the Tea Time Podcast. I am so excited to have you here. Today we are going to be talking about the importance of moving our bodies in an appropriate way that works for us. So not like you have to do leg day and arm day and abs day and cool down day. I don't know about any of that kind of stuff. I do want to talk about how important it is for us to be moving our bodies though. And specifically, our bodies need to be moved if we're healing in some way. And I know that maybe sounds counterintuitive to some people that if we're healing, we should be resting. And I agree that we should rest when our bodies are healing, but it's also important to move them and stretch them and to kind of reintroduce movement back into the body. And I want to tell you a little bit about why I feel like this is so important. So a little bit more about me. I am 5'10", and when I was growing up, I was really self-conscious of my height, and I probably have been self-conscious of my height, I don't know, my whole life and still a little bit now. I don't know why. I don't think it's that like a freakishly tall height, but my whole life people have pointed out to me, you're really tall, you're really tall, you're really tall. Even as a little kid, people told me like, you're really tall, you're tall for your age. And it was always kind of like thank you for pointing out the obvious kind of a thing. But it was weird. I don't know. I played basketball. I ran track. So I did the sports that I guess tall girls are supposed to do. I don't know. But I always kind of felt ashamed of being tall and was not proud of it. I always was jealous of those cute little girls that you could like, I don't know, that were just like adorable and like had cute clothes because they were like short and they could wear cute things, and you know, they didn't have like high water pants. It wasn't cool when I was a kid to wear like capris all the time, and that's pretty much what you get when you're 5'10" and you're 14 years old. So I hunched over. I bent my shoulders over and kind of tried to hide the fact that I was so tall by trying to be smaller. So I always walked around with these rolled over shoulders. As far back as I can remember, and people would say like, oh, stand up straight, stand up straight. I had a stepdad at one point who like tried to straighten my posture for me by, you know, putting some, I don't know, pole or something that you like tie to your shoulders so that you, I don't know, it forces your posture. I don't think it ever really did anything, but just kind of like feel, I don't know, it was weird. And I could never stand up straight. And then as I got into adulthood, I had my career, I was teaching, my mom came to visit me in one of my classrooms, and she wanted to watch me teach this class that I was teaching. And it was cool. It was a really neat experience to have somebody who knows kind of all sides of my life watch that side of my life. It was an interesting experience. And at one point she took like a little video of me talking about foreign languages and how we learn and develop language in our brain. And then she showed me the video later. And at this point, I think I was 29 years old. And I was looking at this woman who was teaching a college class and was hunched over. And all of like my shoulders were totally rolled over. I didn't look like I was a powerful person in a powerful position. And I could imagine if people didn't take me seriously, I think they did, but I was always, you know, hunched over. I was ashamed of my height. So as I saw that and I started to really become conscious of the fact that like it's actually really freaking cool to be 5'10". I can reach everything on the top shelf. Dresses look great on me. Like I love being tall and I'm going to embrace it. And I'm a tall person and that's awesome. So I really started to embrace it. I really got excited about being tall. But at that point, I couldn't stand up straight no matter what I tried. I could not pull my shoulders back. And when I would kind of hold it there and force myself to hold a stronger posture, it was creating muscle spasms in my shoulders. both the front and back of my shoulders and my pec muscles would spasm. It was so unbelievably painful that I couldn't do it. So I started talking to people about it and asking chiropractor, massage therapists, and physical therapy, all kinds of people, why can't I stand up straight anymore? And what I learned was that the muscles that were holding my shoulders in place and the ligaments and tendons and all of those things had shrunk down to accommodate my hunched posture over those 30 years of being ashamed of my height. So we started working on a program to loosen the fascia that was holding those muscles and bones in place so that I could pull my shoulders back and so I could stand up straight again. So it wasn't some like easy thing like, oh, just stand up straight. I had really caused some problems in my body and could have created a lot of damage had I not figured it out and started making the changes to fix it. And it took a lot of process and a lot of time, and it was very painful. It wasn't like comfortable to stretch your fascia out, whatever that is. And I had to start moving my body in ways that really accommodated that strengthening my body in a position that was comfortable. So I was always very athletic. I was a runner. I always was moving in some way or another, but none of the things that I was doing was helping me build the muscles to hold my body upright. And we can't properly heal, properly detox, properly build muscle, really any of these things, if we can't first hold our body up straight. If we're struggling or putting too much pressure on one area of the body, then we're going to see problems later on with that. I really didn't want to get a hump in my back, and I had x-rays done a couple years ago to see what was going on, again, because of the shoulder hump or the shoulder slouch. And it was bumping out in the back of my neck, like starting to get that older person bump in the top back of your neck that kind of looks like a hump in your back. And it was going in that direction. And that scared the crap out of me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm already looking like an older person. This is like ridiculous. I cannot do this. So I started taking the steps to move my body in more appropriate ways. Now, keep in mind that at this time, I was not doing so great health-wise. I wasn't feeling good. I didn't have any energy. My body was healing and reversing autoimmune disease. I was a wreck. I didn't have any energy to be moving my body or going to the gym or working out or doing, I don't know, any like shoulder, lat work. I was just trying to do my best to get out of bed and move through my day in any way possible. So the thing that I found the best at that point was when I was sitting at the TV, watching TV at night, after dinner, you sit down, you watch a show, probably like The Middle or Big Bang Theory or something funny, silly, whatever. And I would sit on the floor on my rug and I would stretch. I would stretch my arms, I would stretch my legs. And I just went back to like high school PE. What did they run you through? Okay, you got to touch your toes and you got to bend your leg back and you got to stretch your arms above your head. And I just did that. And it was very gentle and it didn't really hurt anything. It didn't pull too hard on anything, but it did increase flexibility, it increased movement, and I did get a little bit, a blood flow moving, fresh blood, fresh oxygen going through my body, which is incredibly useful for detox and for healing. So, very important to get some kind of movement going. In the last couple of years, I've been still working on my posture, still working on my back, still working on my shoulders. But now the way I like to do that as I've built my body up is I like to do a little bit more intense stretching. And I like Pilates and yoga because they're really more gentle, low impact, and it works really well for me. And I love walking. Like we talked about in the last episode on morning routines, I really like to go for a little walk in the morning with my dogs or a little walk in the evening so that I can get that movement, that exercise, and spend a little bit of time in nature. So movement doesn't mean go to the gym and work out for an hour. It doesn't mean like put on some crazy hardcore like movie DVD or whatever and like sweat your brains out in your living room. It just means get moving, start doing something, and moving your body in ways that it's really important to move your body. So lifting your arms above your head and pulling them, pull your shoulders back and around, do some arm circles, things that can move your body in the way that it was supposed to move your body. Now, of course, follow any doctor's recommendations on this and don't just start up some random movement plan because some podcast told you to, but do your research and do what feels good for you. For me, it's light stretching, yoga, a little bit of Pilates or some just gentle movement in my living room, and that feels good to me. So what is going to feel good for you so that you can maybe work up a little bit of a sweat, maybe get some new oxygen, some new blood flow, work that heartbeat a little bit faster, just whatever it is that fits where you're at now. So maybe you're not really mobile and it's really hard for you it would be really hard for you to walk around the block. It might be a good goal to start there. Start with the goal that in a month from now, I'm going to be able to walk around the block. And work your way up. Just like the last episode when we talked about the morning routine, it doesn't have to be some huge process or some like, I have to take an hour out of my day every day, otherwise it doesn't matter. No, just do something. Even if you walk up the stairs just for the intention one time of walking up and down the stairs without having to get anything else, or you park a little further from the grocery store, or do some light stretches at your desk. There's a ton of different routines that you can use if you have to sit at a desk most of the day. Get up and walk to the end of the hallway every hour or so. There's a lot of different things you can do to move your body, but the important thing is we have to do something that fits with where we're at now. Don't feel pressured to do some huge big deal. Something that works for someone else isn't necessarily going to fit your model, and you want to do it. It's got to be something that you enjoy, that you feel comfortable and confident doing, and it brings you happiness, and it brings you like, oh yeah, I'm really, really excited because today I get to go walk the dog, or today I get to go, to the gym, or to this class that I really love, or to jazzercise, or to, whatever dance class, like anything. Just move your body in whatever way you can and push it a little bit further each time so that you can continue to get more and more movement out of your body. We weren't meant to be sedentary. We weren't meant to sit all day long. We were meant to hunt and hike and climb and crawl, and we don't do any of those things naturally anymore. So if you can find some way to incorporate those types of movements into your day, even if it's just like reaching your arms above your head, which would simulate, crawling or climbing. If you have the ability and the desire to join a rock climbing gym or go climb rocks in your backyard so that you get that motion, that movement in that's very natural to our body, you'll see amazing things happen. Your energy will increase, your healing ability will increase. Research shows just 20 minutes 3 times a week. So you can break that up however you want. If it's an extra 5 minutes here or 10 minutes there, that increases our quality of life. And what else is the point if we don't have any quality while we're around here? Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Get your body moving in whatever way feels comfortable for you. Even if it's just a little shoulder roll every now and then, hey, get it. All right, you guys have a great week, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you for spending your tea time with us. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Living well and shining on what you're about. Eating well is loving from the inside out. So take the time to love yourself. Take your plans off of the shelf. It's for all you love, with all that you do. Don't forget to love you too.